Naked Shamanism. Welcome to With Insights Radio. I'm your host, Iggy Garcia. I will take you on a journey across the universe through shamanism, metaphysical, and holistic. So sit back and relax and enjoy the show. Hello, everybody. How are you today? Iggy Garcia here, live stream here on Facebook. Iggy Garcia Live. So this is episode 80. Today our show is going to be about 2020 vision, or Vision 2020. Don't want to get infringed here and get sued because of the name. You never know. Anyhow, I'm here to share some thoughts and some feelings and some ideas and some things about, about myself and just things that probably you don't know. But also I want to do some readings too. I'm going to be using this medicine cards here by Jamie Sams and David Carson. I want to give them credit. And then illustrations by Angela Warnerkey. So these people, this is where my readings are going to come from today. Thank you to them. So I wanted to touch base with you today and just kind of reach out today. I'm looking forward to sharing some time with you. I know it's we're into the new year now. We're in 2020, and so we're out of the old decade. Now we're going into a new decade and beginning a new decade. And so I'm pretty excited about that. Kind of makes you wonder about things, how many decades you've lived and the things you've done. But before we begin, what I want to do is I want to light a candle, honoring our ancestors, giving thanks to the people who have come before us. Today is actually the 1-year anniversary of my father's passing, so this is probably an appropriate thing here to actually light a candle for my mom and my dad and think about them and, the possibilities and all the things that they shared with me and all the knowledge they passed down or tried to pass down before they passed. But this candle represents that. So we're going to light that. I want to take a little moment to just reflect on those who we have lost personally, those who we have, who we're missing maybe as well. So I'm going to light this for all of our ancestors, giving thanks to them, honoring them, thanking them, knowing that we're thinking about them, and we know that they're thinking about us. So the white purification and cleansing and clearing of this candle. As Great Spirit, whatever energy, whatever spirituality you follow, is just to give us strength today and give us this moment to remember our people who have left, our folks who loved us, and those we've never met, and those that came before us, and honor them. Some may have done good, some may have done wrong, but we know that they were human, they were doing their best, and hopefully that wherever they're at now, whatever belief you obtain to, that they are where they are, and they are in peace, and that we be in peace, and that we be the healing conduit for the future, and that they can move into the proper space and energy so we can move into the proper space and energy, and move into this new decade and ask Spirit to guide us, ask Spirit to lead us and to show us brand new opportunities. For every moment is a very precious thing. So I light this candle in honoring our ancestors, giving thanks to them. I want to remember my mom and my dad, especially my dad, who passed away last year very tragically. And something we just didn't expect to happen, but it did. And that's life. Things happen unexpectedly. But we hope that the unexpected, when it challenges us, that we're prepared and ready as best we can. And for we are the new ancestors, we are the new elders, we are the ones who will show and lead the way. That we show and lead in a proper manner, that we show and lead in a way that it's appropriate, that we open with our hearts and our spirit and our soul, that we're able to share. We give thanks and we give honor and tribute to those who came before us, all those who worked hard to bring us to this moment in time, to bring us and to share with us all the information spiritually, physically, that have been passed down through us. All right. Never know what you're going to get into when you come on this show, right? So, also, we do a little clearing and cleansing of ourselves, prepare ourselves for this moment. I'm finding a little cold, so I apologize if I'm sniffing. I don't mean to be sniffing, but agua florida, Florida water, just to kind of cleanse us up a little bit. Put it behind the ears a little bit if you have some of that. Just use it to clear and cleanse. and also kind of puts you in a good frame of mind. Very cleansing, very clearing. Oh, boy, I really needed that. That's nice. I like that. Beautiful. So I'm gonna put that there, and then of course we begin with our sage stick, and we'll do some cleansing, some clearing of that ourselves. You can use Palo Santo, you can use sage, whatever you're called to do, but whatever it is, you'll know what it is. Get that nice going there. We might have take the smoke into my eyes so I can see all the beautiful things. Take the smoke into my mouth so I can speak all the beautiful things. Take the smoke into my ears so I can hear all the beautiful things. Take the smoke into my mouth again so I can speak all the beautiful things that Spirit would like me to communicate today. Take the smoke into my heart, into my spirit, so I can be cleansed and be one with all beautiful things in the universe. Take the smoke in my body, for it is weak, for it will be one day returning to the earth. I ask Spirit to cleanse my body, prepare it for today. I ask Spirit to cleanse my soul, my spirit, to raise my vibration, to raise me, and to raise all of us. I ask for the smoke to cleanse me and clear me as I take my sacred path and my sacred walk today. Yurisiqui, oho. Bring us up. All right. Very good, my friends. It's good to see everybody today. If you missed the first part of the show, you can tune back in and watch it. We did a little affirmation and a little bit of honoring of our ancestors like we usually do on the show. I just feel like it's an appropriate thing to do, to honor those who have come before us, because, you know, they love us and they care about us. So those of you who are watching and speak Spanish, bienvenidos al programa hoy día. Hoy día ofrecemos una vela. Nuestros familiares que han muerto, se han muertos. Damos gracias a nuestras mamás, papás, abuelos, primos, sobrinos y todos. Y esta vela es para tener en nuestro corazón, nos acordamos de ellos siempre. Y la hierba que se llama acá sage, lo prendemos para purificar nuestro cuerpo, nuestro espíritu, nuestro corazón, para abrirnos, para prepararnos para hoy día, para este programa. So, for those of you who, unfortunately I don't have a show in Spanish, and I've been getting a lot of requests to do that, and that might happen sooner than later. But I want to thank everybody for coming today. And, you know, today is kind of a tribute show for my father and for my mother. And I'm going to play a flute, a song, and I'm going to play for you guys because I wanted to honor them. Yesterday I did a fire ceremony at my father's old home, giving thanks to the house, giving thanks to the land for allowing us to do sweat lodge for 17 years there, allowing us to live in the home, be thankful for the home. I actually met the new buyer, because he doesn't take possession until the 24th. A guy from Taiwan, he's an 82-year-old man. And it kind of reminded me of my dad. He's kind of the same kind of energy, same kind of business-like mind. And he was like, "Oh, what about this? What about that?" So I'll take all the firewood if you don't want it. And he's like, "Yeah, no problem. I don't want it." You know. And it's funny how they were already going to change things. And he's going to cut the trees down. He's going to cut the trees down. I was like, whoa. That was like, I was like, wow. I remember those trees because I helped my dad plant those trees. They were just little, not that tall, no taller than this flute, maybe. So it was kind of crazy. So I'm going to play in the F key, my flute. I'm just going to play a little tune for you and for your loved ones and for the people who we miss and the people who are in our heart. I'm looking forward to move into 2020 into a powerful place and a powerful moment. So here we go. Hopefully I don't miss too many keys here. Okay. There we go. All right. Awesome. So, just want to play that a little bit. So, today, I want to cover a little bit about being in this new, entering this new decade, this decade of wonderment, this decade of possibilities. I mean, every day is really a moment where you can actually change your life. Every moment is an opportunity where you can actually do things that you weren't able to do last week or an hour ago or a day ago. We get too hung up on, what we didn't do versus what we could do versus what is possible. And I find myself in that story sometimes. I get myself caught up in that little loop. Man, I wish I would have done that. Man, I wish I would have done this. But, sometimes you can't really, get stuck there. And it's easy to get stuck there. And especially now when we want to move into a better opportunity and a better place and a better feeling and a better emotion about ourselves, we have to start learning how to get ourselves out of these things. There comes a time where we just get sick and tired of being sick and tired. I mean, whatever that is, sick and tired, being sick and tired. I don't know what it's going to take for you not to be sick and tired anymore, or what takes me to not be sick and tired anymore. But some of you have done that. Some of you have actually taken the call and have heard spirit and have listened to, that yearning that's inside your heart and your spirit and your soul, and have jumped forward and have taken a leap of faith and have totally taken off with it and run with it, which is really awesome. And for those of you who are still kind of waiting and looking for affirmation or for some kind of cue, some kind of little nugget that you're looking for, it might be right in front of you and you just don't even notice it. You might be waiting. I'm not sure what you're waiting for or what it could be, but comfort is one of those things that keeps us in the place that we are. Sometimes we're very comfortable where we're at. We want change, but we don't want change. We do, but we don't. It's kind of like, man, my life sucks. But yet you go, but these aspects of my life don't suck. But this is no good. But this is good. So we start to look at ourselves and we start to self-analyze. And I think what it is, it's easier for us to self-analyze other things around us versus ourselves, and to get real with ourselves and be honest with ourselves. Most of us know exactly what we need to do, but we're not willing to do it. We're not willing to do it because it's too difficult. It's too hard. And that means that we have to let go of things that, that are probably a little important to us, but also very different. Because the unknown is scary. And, a lot of people say, oh, the grass is greener on the other side. Yeah, but, when you get there, it needs to be tended, it needs to be cut, it needs to be watered, it needs to be nourished, it needs to be fertilized, all the above. But so do you. So do you, not only because of that. But I'm not here to promote, hey, take off and go away. That's not what I'm saying. What I'm saying is really self-analyze. If this is a 2020 vision year, this is a year of the 2020 of the, and the words are slipping my mind today, but when we come to this convergence, that's the word, the convergence, where we come to this place and this space and this moment where we want to actually do better for us. I'm going to tell you, if that's what you want, I really encourage you to do it, because you know what, if you don't do it, you're just going to get in this loop. You're going to get caught in this loop over and over and over. 2020 is about having vision this way and vision this way, vision this way, vision this way, vision all around us. Now, for many years we've spoken about the veil becoming very thin. I think right now the veil has dropped. The veil never goes away, but it has dropped. And this veil kind of just gives us an insight. Now we can look in and look around, and we can go, wow, this is really cool. This is nice. I don't know. I'll step through 1 foot in. Half of us are kind of like this, in and out of the veil, between the veil. Okay, so the thing is, this veil closes. When we make decisions, it opens up other opportunities, but the opportunity kind of closes at that time. So opportunities come and go, yes, but opportunities are always there for us. So don't sweat, don't get frustrated, because what happens next is, you're ready to move into the next incarnation of yourself. Every year, as you get older, you start to compile this information that you have developed, this information that you have about who you believe you are and how you interpret the messages that others interpret about you. Okay, because a lot of us get stuck in the stories that people create for us. Oh, you're such an ass, blah, blah, blah. Or, he's such a good person. He's such a nice person. And then sometimes it's not that you don't want to be bad person. It's just sometimes you want to be just accepted for who you are. You don't have to want to be labeled, and then you have to live up to that label. And for many people, that's difficult to live up to those labels. Oh, this guy, oh, Iggy's such a great person. Oh, Iggy, but Iggy has bad days. As soon as I see a bad day on me, like, oh, what's wrong with Iggy? Oh my God, Iggy's terrible, blah, blah, blah. Oh, I can't believe he even acted like that. Well, you know what? We're human beings, man. I'm a human, you're human, we're all humans, and we all mess up. And we all come to some places where things just don't work out. Things don't happen the way we plan. And so it's okay. I'm here to tell you personally, it's okay to mess up. It's okay to, not like certain things, not want certain things in your life. But I'm also here to remind you is you can't also use that as a crutch. You can't use that to say, hey, I haven't moved forward. I can't move forward because of this and that. There are people who are willing to take the next step forward and to move into this space in that inner area where they want to do better for themselves. Okay, so sometimes they don't even know what it is, but they're willing to take this step. Somebody leaves a relationship, somebody quits a job, someone moves to Mexico, somebody moves to Peru, somebody moves and just totally sells everything and goes. And they just trust that that's where it's going to be. And you know what's going to happen is human nature is like this. If you do that and you totally give up everything that you want, you will adjust. You will totally adjust because you have no other choice but to adjust. You have no other choice but to get and do better for yourself. You're going to be hungry. You're going to be thirsty. You're going to want a lodging. You're going to want a relationship. You're going to want connection. And all those things come when we put it all together. So I'm not saying that you have to go run off and just do the most drastic thing. But here's the thing. When other people do it, I think we have a tendency to say, why is that person doing that? Oh my God, that's crazy. I would never do that. There's an old saying, when the person who's doing something and they're doing it for themselves, the person who's not doing it should just butt out because you know what? Just because it's not good for them doesn't mean it's not good for them. You can never put upon a person what's good for them when you don't even know what's good for you. So many of us try to tell others what to do. A child's different. You're trying to rear a child and teach them and show them and guide them. But when you become an adult, when you come into that space and that energy where you can feel your spirit being called to do certain things, and other people think you're just freaking nuts because you're going to do it, you have two choices. You either listen to the crowd or you listen to yourself, okay? And then what happens in that moment is you empower yourself and you disempower yourself if you follow the crowd. The crowd's not bad. The crowd just likes where they're at. They're comfortable where they're at. They don't want to change. There's nothing there that they like because they aren't you. They're not you. They don't want what you want. You got to want what you want. You got to have the feelings that are good for you. I'm not saying to totally discount people and be rude. No, I'm just saying it's time. It's time. 2020 is your year. You can't sit here and go, oh my God, this is what I'm going to do. It's going to take some work. I'm not going to lie to you. It's going to take some work. Going to take some work on your part to get what you want. If that's what you truly want. You want a new job. You want a new business. You want a new relationship. Oh, Iggy, but I can't find a job. Iggy, I can't find a relationship. First off, I'm talking about relationship with yourself. How you honor you. How you are able to have an emotional connection with yourself. And not waiting for somebody else to make you feel better. What do you do to make yourself feel better? Ask yourself these questions. These are very poignant questions. These are very important questions. How do I get myself back in alignment? I don't need another human being to get me in alignment. What if you're in this place where there are no humans and you're by yourself? Most of the time, we're all by ourselves. You and I know exactly what we do behind closed doors, in the shadows, in the dark, under the covers, in the closets, in the kitchen, in the bedroom, in your car. The person you communicate the most with is you. You talk to yourself. Absolutely. Talk to yourself. Maybe you don't talk outwardly. Maybe you talk through your mind and your head and here. Maybe you just feel the feelings that you feel. No matter what, you feel that. You feel that. And that's what's important. That's what I'm trying to stress is, sometimes when we make these decisions, they're not going to be easy. I'll tell you right now, they're not going to be easy. Because you will hold yourself up. You will hold yourself up a little bit because you are playing the what-if game. And the what-if game is what's going to completely slow you down. And it's okay to play the what-if game. It's all right to play the what-if game. The what-if game's not bad. Okay? Because what if this doesn't work? What if this works? What if I'm happy? What if I'm miserable? What if I just screwed the whole thing up? What if? I can't tell you what's going to happen. Only you can take that journey. The cool thing is you get to invite people along on the journey. You get to invite people to come with you and hang out with you while you're on this beautiful journey. And that's what's really cool. That's what's really awesome, because sometimes we learn a lot about ourselves through other people and how they reflect back and mirror back to us what they observe about us. It's not always correct and always right, because they always apply their judgment upon that mirror. They always apply some things that they don't see. Most people that you're around, you either influence them or they influence you, or just it's cause and effect back and forth. Somehow, especially if you're in a relationship with people, you're always going to have people boom, boom, boom. They're always going to be moving into these directions. And that's kind of how it works. It's the ebb and flow. It's the cause and effect. Some of you call it karma. You do one thing, affects another thing. You do one thing, affects another thing. Because here's what happens. When you cause and affect something, something happens. As a matter of fact, my friend Nick just popped on, and he gifted me an owl. An owl that was hit, I believe was hit by a car or something. But he found it on the side of the road, and he picked it up, and he called me. And I was happened to be on the phone, and we connected pretty quick. And the owl medicine is very powerful medicine. Some people don't like it. Some people do. I actually work with owl medicine, so for me it was just a perfect call, and it was a great gift from Spirit. I had choices here to make: take it, not take it, leave it. I moved on it pretty quickly, and I did ceremony with the owl. And eventually, the things that the owl gifted to me, I kept, and then I actually bathed the owl, gave it a cleansing, tobacco, and put it on the agua florida, put it in the wrapping of cloth and paper, and then put it in a red, a red bandage of stuff. And then I created a fire, and then I released it into the fire. I created a pyre, a funeral pyre for the owl, giving thanks to the owl, because that's what Spirit called me to do, asked me to do. And it was also a good opportunity to let go. A lot of owl medicine has been coming into my space lately. And this is why I did the fire ceremony yesterday. The fire ceremony was completed because of that. And it was just kind of funny, because Spirit just moves you very quickly and very fast into these spaces. So I want to thank Nick, and I want to thank Great Spirit and all, and I also want to thank the owl for giving of its life, giving of itself. And I find it very amazing how it just all one big circle, in one big circle of life. We just kind of dance, this amazing dance, this connection, and how we stay connected. The owl came to Nick, came to me, and went back home. It's with Spirit. And that's kind of how it works. That's kind of how it is. That's kind of how these things manifest. Sometimes you got to be prepared and got to be ready. There was a lot I had to do that day, but I got my work done. And I also did my ceremony, and then I got to watch the fire. And it was pretty amazing yesterday, watching this fire, and as I built it, and the fire jumped all over me at one time and cleansed me. It was crazy. I was like, ooh, kind of, even though you're prepared and these things happen, you never know. Sometimes just it just danced on me. It was pretty trippy, pretty amazing. But thank you, Nick. I appreciate that. That was an awesome gift. And thank you, Spirit, for walking through Nick, and for the beautiful spirit, the owl that you gave me yesterday, to continue its legacy and its journey on my medicine path. So that's kind of where I'm at today, the 2020. So, most of you are familiar with 2020 vision, meaning that you have perfect vision on both eyes. You're able to see. Sometimes we have one eye that's not as powerful as the other. One is weaker, one is stronger. We're the far side or nearsighted. So 2020 is about how we see the world. Are we seeing it in a nearsighted or a far-sighted way? Or do we have to be up close to believe that something is the way it should be? Do we have to be far away to accept it and be an observer? Well, I'm here to tell you, you do all those things. You actually make that round, you dance. Sometimes you're sharp, you're precision, you're right on it, and you can see it, and you accept it for what it is. And then sometimes, many times, you see it from afar. You're the observer, and you watch, and you let it kindle, you let it brew, you let it build, and you allow it to do what it needs to do. And then sometimes you're right in it, you're inside of it, you're totally involved in it, you're totally engulfed in what the project is, you're totally feeling the energy and everything that's of that, and part of that. So every year, you and I, maybe some of us, I don't know, we set resolutions, we set goals, we set, ideas. I can't really say I wrote anything down this year. I haven't really written anything down for the last couple of years, just because of the tragedies in my life and the losses of parents. And I tell you, that changes you. When you lose your parents, and I don't wish that upon anybody, but I know it's part of life. I know that is something that will happen to everybody. Everybody at some moment will have their turn to say goodbye to the people they love. I just didn't realize it was going to be as painful as it was. Maybe I should have known that, but I don't know. But it was darn hard to just say, hey, you know what? I'll see you when we see you. And, and I put on my Facebook page that, that my sacred contract is complete with my parents on the earthly realm. That's a half-truth. And half-truths are, that part of that is true. Part of it's not. They raised me to the point where, where I need to be. They were ready to go. It was their time. It was their moment. It was their contract with Spirit to leave. And I know my mom was ready to go. And that's kind of why my mom's death wasn't as hard, per se. But my dad was full of life, full of vigor. And he'd always talk about the things he wanted to do. He wasn't done. He was an entrepreneur. He was very motivated, very connected. And so for him, I know it was real difficult. And I know it was pretty hard for him, probably sitting there in the hospital bed, hearing all our voices and wondering what the heck's going on, and being in the pain he was in. Because he didn't die right away. He died 10 days later. But, the point was, just life happens very fast. Because on January 1st, we lost track of him, even after we were together on New Year's Eve, all together. And then we didn't know where he was. Eventually we found him. My brother found him, but he was in bad shape. And, he fell down those stairs at Garcia's, and, he busted his head. And the doctor says no matter if we were 30 minutes before or 24 hours later, it doesn't matter. There was nothing we could do. And, that was difficult. It was difficult decisions that we had to make, the family had to make. And, today, like I said, is his 1-year anniversary. And I got to light the fire for him yesterday, and letting go the things I need to let go. But I also came to these conclusions and these ideas that, what, he wants the best for me and my brothers, my sisters, and everybody who's in our family. And he's just kind of like, if you had a good relationship with your family member, you kind of know what I'm talking about. My dad and I's relationship wasn't perfect. It wasn't like crazy bad or anything. But it was magical. It was cool. I was his firstborn, and, I was his oldest son. And he expected a lot from me. He expected a lot from this guy to do things. And then, of course, I'm the one who kind of followed his path a little bit. Then I kind of went off on my own path. And then I totally became what I wanted to be. And that was difficult for my parents. It was difficult for them to see me want to do what I wanted to do with my life. It was hard for them to imagine that I was going to make a living off what I'm doing. And, but I did it, I'm still here and I'm alive. I'm still kicking. I'm eating. I have a roof over my head. I have a truck, I have a business. I have 2 businesses, actually. My holistic business and my property management business with my other family members. So, I don't know. Sometimes I think about going back to the restaurant business, and sometimes I don't. It doesn't call to me like it used to. That's where I grew up. That's what I did for 30-some years, doing restaurants and working. My parents had it for 42 years, that restaurant. And so for me, I have to say I'm done right now, because with that, just to put that out there to the universe, because it's not something that really calls to me. But I am willing and I am open to help people better themselves, to get into better peace of mind, a better place in their emotions, a better place in their feeling. That's why I drum. That's why I do the work I do. That's why I do the property management stuff, and I do all these things that I do to see that smile on someone's face, because that puts a smile on my face and it warms my heart as well. So that's where I'm at with that. That's what I do. That's why I get excited when I'm in the drum circle, when I'm in the sweat lodge, when I'm in session with somebody. That's where my heart just palpitates, and I just know that someone's getting it. And then when they don't get it, I can help them find that path and help them get into that place where they can find themselves, which is super important. So what I'm going to do here, is I'm going to do some readings now. For those of you who are open to, who want some readings. I don't know what this thing is. This thing's bugging me. All right. So I got this animal medicine cards I'm going to do readings from, though. So if you want a reading, just tell me you want a reading, Iggy, and I'll get you one by one on the cards, and I'll read you. This will be kind of a popcorn reading, so it's nothing too long, nothing too in depth. I'll just read it. Of course, I go pretty deep with these readings sometimes. So if you want a reading, just put a little there. Okay, Krista, you want a reading? All right, here we go. Let me shuffle these. Let me shuffle the deck. Shuffle, shuffle, shuffle. I haven't used this deck in a long time, but it wanted to be read today, so I'm going to take it. Okay, Krista, pick 1 through 5 and give me a number. And that's the card we're going to put out, okay? As we wait for Krista to respond to that. All right, 4. Okay, 1, 2, 3, and here's 4. All right. Well, here we go. You got the moose card. Okay. The moose card, in the way my interpretation is, the moose is about creating authority over yourself, protection, creating boundaries with people, and creating space, and moving to that area that is important to you. The moose is very, very powerful creature, very majestic creature, but it also has the signs of the feather. It also has a sign of the bones, and the sign of the hook, the shell, meaning that you're going to have a lot of adventures. I kind of know a little bit about Krista's background, but the moose is also talking about preparing yourself, being ready, stand in authority, stand strong with your decisions and what you're going to do, because if you don't stand strong with your decisions, someone else is going to make decisions for you. Someone else is going to move into that space and create it for you. And, most of us, we get into this place because we've allowed other people to show us the way, and we've trusted people. That's what we do. So, Krista, hopefully that gives you a little bit of a read. And I'm not sure if anybody else needs a read. Anybody else need a read here? Just let me know real quick. I'm reading these animal cards. All right. Let me see. Anybody else need a read here? So these are popcorn readings, guys. So I'm kind of just popping them in and out. What comes from me, what's being channeled through me, through spirit, as I read the card. Okay. Thank you. Okay, Krista, I'm glad that resonated with you a little bit. I'm going to pull out a general read card for everybody. Okay, so now I pulled out the wolf for everybody here, just for the reading. The wolf is about the guardian and asking for what you want, asking for protection, asking for the things that you need. The wolf is one of those creatures that is very powerful. They're a very pack, tribal-oriented creature. So they work together. It's about working with the things that are around you, working with the people who are around you, working with those that you trust, those who are important to you, because a lone wolf is very rare. A lone wolf usually is outcasted from the pack if something, he's either old or ready to die, or just not a good wolf. That happens. Okay, so as for you, is find your tribe. Basically what it means, find your tribe wherever you go, wherever you're going to be. It means find the like-minded people, the connection, the people who you want to work with, the people that are very, not influential, but the ones who are going to be influential to you. So remember, wherever you go, wherever you're going to be, wherever you decide to land and land your 2 feet, there are going to be people who are going to try to influence you. There are going to be people who are going to want to suggest you. There are going to be people who are want to give you ideas of what you should be doing. So I'm just here to remind you is that you are in control. You are in power. You are the one who has to make those final decisions for yourself. Because if you don't make those decisions, someone's going to make them for you. And I think that's what I'm hearing right now today in my show, loud and clear, that if we don't make the proper decisions for ourselves, other people will make them for us. And you know how that goes. When other people make decisions for us, it doesn't always go the best way we can, unless we invited that energy to say, hey, I invite you to tell me what I need. And you know, people are apt to give their opinion about what they think or what they see and how they see it and how they feel about it and what it smells like, tastes like, looks like, and everything. Because, you know, that's easy to do. It's easy to look at somebody else's problems and analyze them and go, well, that's kind of fucked up, isn't it? You know, that's kind of messed up. I can't believe they treat you like that, you know. But there's always two sides to the story. There's always their story, your story, and everything in between. So when you move into this new 2020 vision, just be ready, be prepared. Be prepared for the unexpected. The unexpected is a cool thing, a wild thing. It could be a challenging thing, but regardless, it's there. It's always there. So if anybody else needs a read, let me know. I've got the cards out. All right, I can do that for you. I've given 2 reads so far, and they've been pretty positive, been pretty good. Usually these reads are pretty good. So I'm getting ready to put these 2 back because we already used those cards. We don't want to duplicate the things because we want to move into brighter, stronger energies. So I'm not sure what people are planning to do with their 2020. Now we're kind of in there. We're moving into that, and we're moving to the spaces that we're into. And hopefully the decisions that you're making today are beneficial for you. Because it's easy to get stuck in old energy. Old energy is very hard to move sometimes. And a lot of it's just embedded programming. Things that we've been programmed to do. Things that we've been asked, you know, by others to, you know, kind of give ourselves away a little bit. And it's easy to give ourselves away. We do it every day. Every day we're giving ourselves away. Every day we are giving a piece and part of ourselves away to people who either appreciate or don't appreciate us. And I'm here to say that I'm probably just as guilty as that, as holding somebody back because of my indecisions and my beliefs and my way of thinking. And so, you know, it's kind of crazy. It's crazy. It's just one of the things. And every year, I know we all sit here and we all go, New Year's Eve came in. New Year's Eve was badass, man. If you weren't at the drumming, it was awesome. We had a lot of cool energies. Those people who showed up at the New Year's Eve party, they wanted change. They wanted some things different. They wanted to just raise the roof, and they did. We raised that roof. We tore it down. We rebuilt it, and then we went to the fire and we let go. We burned it. So it was a nice New Year's Eve party. So we did really good with that. I was pretty excited that I got to share that moment with all those folks. Some of you were there. Some of you who are online here were there in that ceremony, being together. So I'm going to put these cards away since no one's really wants to read today for some reason. I think everybody's a little nervous. Yeah, so I'm still buzzing from that too. And, you know, we've had some pretty cool events in between now and then. For those of you who are coming to the Sweat Lodge tomorrow, I'm excited about that too, because it's an opportunity to remember, let go, to cleanse. And this is a constant thing that we have to do. We constantly have to cleanse, constantly have to clear. We constantly have to move our energy. We constantly have to be finding ourselves in this moment where we need to align ourselves. It's easy to become disaligned, disenfranchised, discombobulated, and all the above, all those words. But it's also very easy to get back into the frame of mind and the energy that puts us in a good mode, in a good place. Because when you're ready, the teachers do appear. And when you're ready, the students appear. And when you're ready, the money will appear. When you're ready, everything that you probably ever really wanted to appears. And I want to say hi to everybody who's saying hello. I want to say hi to Matthew there. Say hi to Renee and everybody who popped in for this moment. So just to recap a little bit. So tomorrow we have a Sweat Lodge. Okay, so that's at 12 to 6. Well, roughly it'll be 12 to 6, but I think it'll end about 4:35. Then we have a drum circle from 7:30 to like 9:15 or so at the Spiritual Horizons in Delaware. We'll do a drumming there. And then on Sunday, we have a drumming that will be at the Kobacker House at 2 p.m. to 3:30 tomorrow, Sunday night, Sunday evening or afternoon. will be there drumming. It's a grief drumming, so we're actually honoring the people who have passed, and we're honoring the people, help them to transition, help them find a way to channel that energy. It is both these events, all these events are open to the public, general public. So if you want to come, just hit accept on Facebook and show up. So we lit a candle for our ancestors. We give thanks to our ancestors like we always do. We cleanse ourselves with some sage. And then we also played a little song on the flute, giving thanks and just honoring ourselves. The biggest thing is just learning how to honor who we are and honor our energy as we give ourselves away every day to people and to the world and to the energies that are around us, because that's what we do. That's what humans do. We constantly give ourselves away. And it's not a bad thing. It's just a human thing. And, you know, as we give away our physical body, we give away our spiritual body. And we are more than just the physical body. And we are more than just the spiritual body. We can't even fathom what we truly are. We only know what we know. And we only receive what we can receive or are willing to receive. Excuse me. And, you know, sometimes, you know, we misinterpret the message. And in all our lives, we live a certain way. And then one day we wake up and go, wow, what was that all about? But it was the lesson. It was the journey. It was part of the thing that had to teach you to pay more attention, to be more on top of it. Because I know I've been there, and that's why I'm laughing. I'm just thinking about some things that happened to me in my life. When you think you knew something was going to be a certain way, and then it totally goes in complete opposite direction. But that's part of being a human being. That's part of being human. That's part of being in the flow. And the flow, you're always in the flow, regardless if you're on the side, regardless if you're on the bank, no matter if you're on the raft or the boat or totally in the water or totally in the stream of the current of spirituality and spiritual world or the physical world. You're always in it. You can't stay outside of it long enough. You can embrace it. You can learn how to navigate it. You can learn how to say, you know what, I know that this is the way things are going to be, but I don't have to enjoy it the way it presents itself. I can enjoy it in a much different way. There are people who are in war-torn countries. There are people who are starving, and there are people who have nothing, and yet they find a way to live. They find a way to survive. They find a way to enjoy themselves. They find a way to embrace and truthfully, you know, appreciate the small things they have. You know, we're pretty fortunate in this country that we have a lot of opportunity to enjoy a lot of different things. Clean water, you know, natural medicines, just you name it. Vitamins, just the things for us. It's very normal. It's a very normal thing. A lighter, the things that we know we can go down the street and just buy it if we want it. But not everybody has that opportunity in the world. Not everybody has that chance. So sometimes when we watch, shows or reports and you see people who have nothing and you ask them what they like and they can't give you an answer, it's because they don't have a point of reference of what they could have or that they should have. No one's ever taught them. They've never seen it. But you know what? They do know one thing. I know one thing that they do say a lot of is they appreciate their families. They appreciate the people that are around, the people that love them. They appreciate all the small things, all the little things that matter. And that's what's important because they're awakened in a whole different way. They're awakened in a way that's different than ours. People who have less, people who don't have. I'm not saying that you're not awakened. You're just awakened, and I'm awakened in a whole different way of appreciation. There are things that we appreciate that other people don't even know they can appreciate. So how as humans, how as humanity, how can we come together and help other people get what they need? The basic necessities of life. We don't have to fight wars. We don't have to kill each other in order to obtain this. But what will it take? What will it take for humanity to say, hey, you know what? There are people who are without. There are people who have no water. There are people who have no food. There are people who are refugees. There are people who are trying to kill me or kill you because they have a different ideology or belief. What will it change? What would change humanity? What would it be? What can we draw? What can we press? What can we play in order to move into that place? Because, you know, we're in this together, guys. We're all of us. It doesn't matter if you're Iranian, if you're American, if you're Peruvian, Japanese, you know, etc., etc. You just add the label and the name to it. You know, when the earth starts to quake and the volcanoes start to erupt and the seas start to flood the lands, it doesn't matter who you are and where you are. What will humanity do? What will humanity do in that moment? What will the people of this planet do? Some of us will perish. Some of us will survive. Some of us will move into a better place. But what will we do as humans? What will we do? How can we work together? What can we do to make life better for ourselves and for the people around us? And you know what? I understand that people have different values and different ways of thinking and different ways of appreciating things, and not everybody's in alignment with the same people. But, you know, sometimes I think we're designed to be dysfunctional at times. And you'll just be able, maybe it's something in our system that just keeps us in check, to keep others in check. Maybe this utopian society that I'm thinking about isn't real. Maybe it's right in front of us and we just don't even see it. Maybe we have an opportunity to, you know, to embrace it, and we don't embrace it. Sometimes we sit here and we go, wow, I wish this was this way, I wish it was that way. So what can we do as a society? What can we do as an individual? As one person, as one human being? What can we do? Not to fix, because fixing is a word meaning that we'll have to keep constantly repairing. What can we do to raise the vibration, raise the energy, raise things into a positive awakening and light? You know, because, you know, you do need the shadow sides of the aspects so we can compare what is right from wrong. So what can we do tomorrow? What can you do tomorrow? What can I do tomorrow? What can I do right now, today? What can I do in this moment to open up and to show the world that I'm here to help? What can you do? What would you do? And not just because somebody else has done something. Oh, I want to feed the poor. I want to give water to people who are without water. Happy New Year. You know what I'm saying? Just because somebody else did it doesn't mean you can't do it again. Because you know what? That person who started it may need help. They may need somebody to catapult a little bit and move into that space. You know, we label ourselves in this world. We put ourselves in a situation where sometimes we have align ourselves with certain groups because we don't think we belong to another group. And you know what? Some people just don't get it. And I get that. And I think that's what's important to know, that sometimes people don't get it. And you know what? Send them love and energy, because you know what? If we don't lead and we don't show them, they'll never learn. There are people who are very angry, who are very frustrated, who are very disconnected because that's how they were raised, or a situation occurred in their lives. We don't know what's wrong with a brother or a sister and why they act the way they do. We just assume that they're that way because, you know, they were either born that way or they were raised that way. You know, sometimes a smile, a hello, a high five. You know, most of you can attest to this, that you walk down the street and you don't say hi to somebody, or somebody doesn't say hi to you, and you say hi to somebody, no one says hi, or you do say hi and somebody says hello. And sometimes someone just asks for a hug, or sometimes someone just come up to you. You know, we've been conditioned that, you know, we have to be on guard all the time. What's that person want? Oh my God, they want a hug. Oh, they want to touch me. Granted, you know, I understand we have to be careful. But, you know, there are situations where just the look, just our body language and how we express ourselves can dictate the whole movement, the whole situation in a place. It can put us in a whole different frame of mind. It does. It happens. You've been in places where if you just sang a song and just started dancing, it didn't matter if no one sang with you or whatever, You know what? That changes the world. That will change the world in 2 seconds. And you walk and say, hello, hi, how are you? Most of the time people will say hi. Most of the time people look at you going, what's wrong with this guy? You know what? I come from that place where it's better to say hi than not say hi at all. And I know sometimes you don't feel like saying hi, and I know sometimes you don't want anybody to say hi to you. You just sometimes want to be invisible, put your fox medicine on and just walk through and nobody see you. I get that. I do that. But I know if we're going to raise and we're going to have this 2020 vision and we're going to have this thing of understanding, is we have to understand also the people that we don't understand. Why are they the way they are? Maybe we're weird to them and they're weird to us. I don't know. But there's something there. There's something there that we can change. We can change that. We have to change that. It's our job. We can't wait for somebody else to do it for us. We can't wait for someone to say, oh, well, that person's just going to start. No, you're the catalyst to change. You're the catalyst to make things happen. You know, I'm on this show. Not just one day I woke up and I said, hey, I want to do a radio show. And started from radio, then I went to podcasting. And you know what? I hope that somebody gets something out of it. I hope somebody hears a nugget. I hope somebody hears something, because that's what Spirit wants me to do. It's not really what I wanted to do. In the beginning, it was kind of like fun. And now it's like, boy, I have to do it because my soul calls to do it. Because someone needs to hear that. Is that true or not true? I don't know. But I just know that Spirit tells me, you need to go on the show. You need to do a show. I don't feel like doing a show. Well, someone needs to hear something. You need to hear something. You need to read something that someone typed. You need to hear yourself talk to them so you can hear what you need to hear for yourself. So this show's about you and about me, so I can hear what I need to hear. To remind me and remind you, remind us that, you know, we're all connected. We're all, my relations, we're all together. You know, that we're all in this together, that we're all part of this amazing concoction of soup. You know, to think that we just appeared out of nowhere and just kind of happened by accident. Some people believe that. And I'm okay with that, because they have to believe that. They have to believe all that stuff. They have to really believe it and just kind of carry that. And that's okay. But then I can believe the other side of it. Something created it. Something made it. Something much bigger. What if we're just a dust ball in a corner, like in Dr. Seuss's books? We're just a little dust ball, just stuck in a corner somewhere in someone else's a dream, someone else's creation, somebody else's toy box, someone's shoe box, some warehouse that just, you know, the imagination is very powerful. It can create a lot of things, and it can create a lot of amazing things. It can take you on these amazing journeys about where we come from, how we got here. But I do know one thing, that is our imagination is very powerful and very creative, and it does a lot of cool stuff. So that's why when I talk about this 2020 vision, this vision of 2020, is now we're in the new decade now. We're moving into the beginnings of a new decade. In these next 10 years, what will you do? Will you be doing the same thing? Will you have an excuse? Those of you who are very young, 20, 30, you don't feel it so much because you're young. But when you start getting to my age, 53, the numbers start to tick a little bit differently. The numbers start to move a little differently. They move in a way that I had no clue until I turn, well, maybe when I turned 50, I kind of had a clue. 51, 52, but at 53, which I just turned 53, they click very differently. Very differently, because you know what? Especially when you have loss in your programming, and that in your destiny, when you have loss in your destiny, you look at life and you start to count. Wow, I got 20 years. I got 30 years. What seems like a long time. But before you know it, 20, 30 years is here. And then you know what happens? A lot happens. A lot happens in that moment. But see, we're not guaranteed our next breath, so, you know, it could just end tomorrow. But let's just say you made it 20, 30 years, and you get to that place. Are you happy with the decisions you made? Here, you have to use your imagination a little bit. Did you accomplish all the things that you wanted to accomplish? Did you create the things that you wanted to create? Are you in the place to say, wow, I lived an amazing life? Are you just going to allow the pains and the hurts and everything going to hold you back? I'm not saying that the pains and things aren't important, but I'm saying is, when can you take over? When can you say, hey, you know what? That stuff don't know me anymore. It did one time. But I guarantee you, when you hit 50, some of you who are there, you start to think about the numbers clicking a little bit different. You look at the clock a little bit different. You look at the calendar a little bit different. And things seem to be more accelerated as you become older. Because when I was 20, 30, 40, it just seemed like I was invincible. I felt like, I'm strong, powerful. I can do anything. And then little by little, I've been here. Little by little, you start to see that you start to break down. Your body starts to change. Your mind becomes very beautiful. I believe, personally, your mind becomes to go, wow, I'm seeing things completely different. I'm seeing things I didn't notice before. I'm feeling things I never felt before. My body is changing in ways that I can't even imagine would change, But yet, I can mold my body. But once your mind expands and grows, it's like a rubber band stretching. Stretch that rubber band. When you bring it back, it never goes back to the same form. It can't. It never will. Impossible. It either never goes back to the same form, or it snaps, and poof, you travel through the mind's eye and see things differently. So however you want to experience the world is really up to you. I can't really tell you what that looks like. But I'll tell you one thing. We all have the same destiny. We were born and we will die. In between, we get to experience it how we want to experience it. Is it always going to be perfect? No. Is it always going to be rosy? No. Can it be beautiful? Yes. Can it be whatever you want it to be? Yes. Can it be a way that doesn't have to be so combative? Yes. Can it be in a way that you can invite certain people into your lives and feel safe? Yes. So whatever you're feeling right now, whatever you're going through right now, you can change it. You can fix it. You can make it better. Because you know what? You're in charge. You're in control. Nobody else is in control. Nobody else can tell you. And some of you are really strong like me and the next person. We always think we're strong. Sometimes the strongest are the weakest and the most vulnerable, because you know what? We put so much into giving and loving sometimes. And then when we look at somebody who doesn't give anything, doesn't care, and they get everything, you go, wow, why is that person? It's not that they're not better than us or we're better than them. You know what it is? To receive is not to be perfect. To receive is to be open and to open to our heart to accept that. When you manifest, we manifest strongly. We all do. I'm talking about the people that come into our lives, the people who, are part of us, the people who embrace us. Any situation that you're in right now, you can change it. Will you change it? What holds you back from changing it are the things that you've created in your mind, the things that you created in your speak, the things that you said, well, I can't afford it. That takes money to do that. Yeah, maybe it does take money. Maybe not your money. It takes someone else's money. But isn't there another solution? My mom says there's solutions for everything, except for death. That was she would tell me. She goes, Nacho, there's always solutions for everything, menos la muerte. Because she knew that, we all have to die. We're born to die. But we're also born to live. So we're born to die, we're born to live, meaning that we can have control of what happens in the in-between. And I wish we could tell our kids that and understand that, you know what? Yeah, you got to pay bills. Yeah, you got to live and you got to do this. But in the in-between, it's yours to enjoy. It's yours to experience. It's yours to say, hey, I'm going to ride this wave and I'm going to do it. The in-between belongs to you, not to somebody else, not to the government, not to your spouse, not to your children, not to your mom and dad, your uncles and aunts, and everybody else, and everybody who says stuff and tells you how you should live your life. No. Your in-between, my in-between is mine. So I get to experience it. If I want to flick a lighter, oh, wow, that's fun. You do it. If you want to just go and take off, and go sit in a park bench, you can. You want to take a trip, you do it. Don't let things hold you back. Don't let the money be the situation. Don't let your relationship be the problem. Don't let things, you got to figure out the solution. You got to figure out how to manifest and create it. It's not hard. We make it hard. We, you, me, we make it hard. We make it hard because you know what? That's what we do. We're human beings. We like to throw cogs into the wheel. Oh, look at me, I can't do it, you know? Or you can just go, wow, this is amazing. This is powerful. You know, have you ever accomplished something and you just go, oh my God, did you see that? Oh, do you see what I just did? And you look around, nobody's around you, but it doesn't matter because you had that moment. You had that aha, that awakening. And that's when you're going, oh. And artists is kind of like that. And sometimes they're not like that, but a lot of them are. They make their creation, they create their thing, and they're going, wow. And as soon as somebody goes, I don't see it. What's it supposed to be? And you're like, oh my God. But it doesn't matter what they say, because everybody has their eye, their opinion, and how they're going to see the world that you are. You know, take a deep breath. Release it. Let it go. I wish it was that easy sometimes, but it is that easy. Life doesn't have to be hard. Life doesn't have to be hard. We make the decision that it's hard. You know, I hear people all the time, oh, life has been so hard on me and this and that. You know what? Life's been hard on me too, but you know what? I'm not going to let it take me down because you know what? It doesn't serve me. I've had so much crap happen to me, man. I don't even know where to start to tell you that story. But if I let that be the sole factor why I can't move forward, I'd be a mess. I wouldn't even be on this show. I wouldn't even have this show. You got to draw it, you got to press it, and you got to push play. Just got to do it. Draw out your perfect day. Draw out your perfect life, whatever it looks like, you know? And then you press that button, you know? You press that button, means go, and you watch it play out in front of you. Most of the times you get what you... Here's the thing. Most of the times you end up in situations because you didn't say no. And where you should have said yes, or maybe said no. Say you wanted to do something, and they said no. You should have just gone. You should have just done it. Versus someone says, well, let's go do this, and you say no. It's usually those two words. A maybe, you throw it in. You know, it's either yes or no, and the maybe. Maybes, I don't like maybes, but maybes are important. But, you know, most of the times we don't say no, or we don't say yes, or we don't say yes, or we don't say no to the right thing. Now, most of us want to compromise so we don't have problems with the people who are around us, and I get that, and I understand that. But, you know, you start to figure out when that other person doesn't give into you, and they don't want to do kind of what you do, but they want you to do everything you want to do, then that could be a problem. That could be an issue. So how do you handle that? There are many ways you can handle it. I'm not here to tell you which way is good for you. But sometimes you just got to say, would you like to go to this? And they say no. Okay. You can say, is it okay if I go? And they're going to be like, well, I won't go. What's going on? No, nothing's going on. It's just that I need to be in that energy. I need to be I can't be here right now. Doesn't mean I don't love you and don't care about you. But we have to create healthy limits and boundaries, and sometimes you may know what a healthy limit and boundary is. You may understand, but that person that you're connected with doesn't get it. You know, because we all have ego, and we all have jealousy, and we have all the feelings and emotions that come with that. Never be afraid to be yourself. Never. As long as it's respectful and it doesn't hurt anybody, never be afraid to be yourself. If you're an asshole and you like to put people down, that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about being your genuine self. That's not being genuine. Your genuine self is the one that understands that other people are just like you and have issues and have problems, and you can see it in them. The ones who actually suffer, just like you suffer. But you know, life's not all about suffering. Whoever sold us that bill of goods did a really good job. Life could be very well enjoyed. It could be very well manifested when we're taught properly. But the system has been designed for us to express it and feel it the way we do. So I'm not saying that I have all the answers. I'm not saying that you have all the answers, that anybody has all the answers. But there are answers popping here and there all the time. There are always little nuggets popping around. So draw your life out however you think it should be, what it would look like. Draw it. And when I mean draw it, pictures, cut, pictures, paste, draw it, write it, but draw it. And then at some point you have to push that button. Press the button. Press the button. Play. And play means let it play. But it also means play. Okay, so when you say draw, the press means it's the press. I am the press. I am going to acknowledge to myself, I am the news. I am the press, that I'm going to do this. Make yourself accountable. Make yourself that person. Make yourself say, okay, I've put myself on notice that I'm going to do this. I'm going to draw it out. I'm going to press it, and I'm going to play. Sounds really, really complicated, and sounds real easy at the same time. But you'll probably have to draw a couple times. You'll probably have to press a few times. You'll probably have to play a lot of times. You'll probably have to do a little bit of experimenting, because that's how life is. So hopefully you got what you needed today. I hope, and I'm very grateful that you were here with me today. And I hope to see some of you at the Sweat Lodge tomorrow, and the drumming later that evening at the Spiritual Horizons in Delaware, Ohio, and then Sunday at the Kobacker House, drumming at 2 p.m. It's about building connections. It's about building your tribe, building your community, being around like-minded people, and building like-minded people in hearts, in spirits. So with that, I want to say thank you for tuning in. Thank you for being here with me. Thank you for sharing. And thank you for those who got readings, for letting me have the opportunity to share that with you. And just go out, make 2020 the best you can. All right? Do what you have to do. Be free. Know that you are free to be yourself. Nobody has dibs or control over that. No matter what they tell you, even if they physically hurt you, they still don't have control over you. You have to make some serious decisions in your life when things like that happen. Most of us are fortunate that we can just do and step away. I know not everybody has that opportunity, but be careful. Don't get caught into those ruts and those stories of other people's stories of how they think you should be for them. You should be what's best for you. Because the day you are best for you, you're best for everybody else and best for yourself. Okay, guys, I love you. Draw it out, press that button, and play, and watch it all manifest. All right, so ho'oponopono, irisikwi, matakuyasin, oho, and every affirmation, namaste, anything that you use, I send back. Cause and effect is always in play, so remember that. And I will talk to you soon. Have the best 2020 you can possibly have. You're going to have downs, you're going to have ups, but may your ups be more than your downs, because that's where it's at when we're able to move and navigate through that. Peace and love, guys. Take care. Be well. And I will see you soon. And we'll see you next time here on Iggy Garcia Live.